Hey everybody here in Ultimate Baby Sleep Group. How are you? I know I normally don't wear hats, beanies, but I haven't been feeling so great, so I had to cover up the hair situation. Well, I was actually thinking there's these cool features where you can do a live and put a mask over your face, but I thought that was a little scary. And it's amazing what a little lipstick and eyeliner will do for you. So anyway, I am here as promised because we are a little bit behind in our Monday topics. For those of you who are new to the group, you can always and forever always use hashtag SleepQ, and we come in and do live videos every day typically. We call them Q's and Coffee, where we come in and answer your sleep questions on a daily basis, but I'm super behind. Didn't do it yesterday, the day before, the day before. It's been 5 or 6 days since I've done Q's and Coffee. So I apologize to you all. I haven't been feeling well, and I had some kids home also, which was kind of crazy. So what I'm gonna do is come in tonight and do a Q's and Coffee to kind of miss some of the few days where we haven't had Q's and Coffee. So tonight, stay tuned. I'm going to come in and do a Q's and Coffee and pick some questions. But right now, because of the craziness, I wasn't able to answer last week's question thread. So in addition to our Q's and Coffee that we have every day, using hashtag SleepQ, we have a Monday question thread with a certain topic. Sometimes it's newborns and sleep, cat naps, night wake-ups, all different kinds of fun things. This week, it is actually bedwetting. But last week's topic is sleep debt that I wasn't able to get to before. So I'm hopping in here for last week's, let's just open this up. Last week's topic, because I wasn't able to get in here and answer you guys because I had kids home, things were crazy, and then I started not feeling well. So today we are going to talk about sleep debt, and then in a few more days I'll come in and catch this week's. So I hope you followed that, okay? For newbies in the group, hashtag SleepQ, you can always use to answer a question. That's for daily Q's and Coffee. Separately, we have a Monday topic thread that I usually come in Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday and answer. And this week we're behind, so I'm doing last week's. Okay? Thank you, Anna. I'm hoping to feel better. I'm a lot better. I have my voice back. I didn't have my voice yesterday, and I literally slept the entire day yesterday, but feeling a lot better now. Okay, so anyone who's watching, just hit me up in the comments and ask me a question. And I'm just going to go through the questions here, but first let's talk about what sleep debt is, and is it real? Okay, that's the first thing I want to address here. Sleep debt basically means, in essence, when you are catching up on lost sleep, almost like a debt you have to pay, right? You owe money to the bank, you owe friends some money, you pay them back. So it's like paying yourself back for lost sleep. If, let's say, you had a crazy week at work and you had kids that were up all night, kids that were sick, kids that were that, usually, if you have some time to catch up on sleep, that's what the sleep debt idea is. You might sleep 2 12-hour nights over the weekend to catch up for lost sleep. So that's what the idea of sleep debt is. Now, there's a lot of questions here on sleep debt, how it works, but I want to first tell you, I used to think it didn't exist. I was 100% convinced in the early years. I used to do this with, hi Heather, how you doing? I used to think that sleep debt was not a real thing at all. The first 5-6 years I was helping families. Now I've been doing it for over double that time. Doing it for 11 and a half, almost 12 years now. But in the early years when I was working with families, being a sleep professional and helping people in the industry, I didn't think sleep debt existed. I'll tell you why. Because as you know, my methodology, if you watched the videos or have been following me for a while, is that it's all about consistency. So it didn't make sense to me, especially in children, after research and working with hundreds and hundreds of families, years back, it didn't make sense to me that sleep debt was a real thing because it's too much room for inconsistency, right? Your child one day will be up all night and then will suddenly make up for lost naps, and then they sleep more at night and they're up again. It seemed too inconsistent that I couldn't find enough of a basis that I thought sleep debt was actually real. But in recent years, I have totally changed my mind completely, being more experienced, having worked with now at this point thousands and thousands of families instead of hundreds and hundreds. At this point, I've worked with probably about almost 3,000 families in the past, 11 and a half years. And I've seen sleep debt is real. So I 100% now at this point, having worked with so many people, feel that sleep debt is real. And I'll tell you why. As an adult, for sure we do this, right? When we've had a crazy week or whatever, I know myself, I will sleep 14 hours one night. Maybe not 14, 11 hours, 12, excuse me, those kinds of things. I might be coughing or sniffling while I'm talking to you all still. Okay, so for sure sleep debt exists in adults, but it does with babies also. Obviously all sleep is a 24-hour cycle, and I've said this so many times that good, consistent daytime sleep is going to set the tone for proper nights. And when a child is rested during the day, it helps them sleep better at night, okay? Opposite is true as well, which is why I always tell all of you, work on a routine during the day before working on night sleep. It's very critical. So if that's the case, then you would think, using this logic, that when a child is overtired during the day, not taking good naps, they're up at night, which is definitely true. But when a child doesn't sleep well, and I say child really under 8, 9 years of age, and I've seen this with my own family and with working with, I just recently finished helping a family with a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 4-year-old. And they were suffering from sleep debt left and right, okay? How it works is it was kind of like a yo-yo, okay? She'd have 3, 4, 5 nights where the kids were up, not sleeping well, the 3-year-old wasn't napping, where it was like crazy, and then sleep debt, bing, 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 2 nights or so where they'd sleep like ridiculously long chunks of sleep to compensate for lost night sleep, okay? It doesn't always work like this at all. So sleep debt is not across the board something that happens with all children. Some kids get more and more and more and more overtired till it snowballs or explodes and gets to a point of no return. Some cases, it's this yo-yo where you have a few really, really, really bad nights and then a good night to catch up. And then a few really, really bad nights and a good night to catch up. So that's what sleep debt is, and it is real, but it's not across the board. It's not for every child. It's not for every family at all. Push comes to shove, how do you solve this problem is by having that consistent daytime routine set up, because sleep debt is not good. It's not something that you want to have. You don't want your child to be ridiculously overtired for 3, 4, 5 days or nights and then catch up and have a good night and then be off and then catch up and then be off and then catch up, because it's totally inconsistent. It thwarts off their internal clock, right? An internal clock is always really important to have that middle ground of consistency, because otherwise it's all over the place and your baby's body doesn't know what to do. Love your helpful video. You're so great for doing these videos to help exhausted parents. Thanks, Allison. I love helping you all. You're so sweet. I even come in when I'm sick. No, I'm feeling better now. I'm happy you enjoy them. That's what I'm here for, to help you all. So that's how it goes, all right? Sleep debt is real. Doesn't work for every family, but in any case, you want to prevent it and you want to avoid it by having consistency set up, because otherwise your child's not going to do well, right? I just had someone leave my Rested Moms Club right now. We just actually got off our call, and she had a 2.5-year-old that we decided to drop her nap for. Why? We had to consistently drop her child's nap because she was suffering from sleep debt, this little 2.5-year-old. She'd have 3, 4, 5 days where she wouldn't nap. And then she would conk out ridiculously early for bedtime, sleep 14 hours, catch up, sleep debt, and then have another 3, 4, 5 days. Yes, you might think, oh, it's no big deal, but that inconsistency is very difficult for your child's body. It's very difficult for you as a parent to predictably, know what to expect. That's not healthy for anyone, because then your child's body is constantly in this like in-between back and forth mode, which is not healthy for anyone. So, excuse me, if any of you have ever suffered from sleep debt yourselves or have children who suffer from sleep debt, give me a heart, give me a thumbs up, because it's a universal concept. Just a lot of people don't know there's a term for it. I call it sleep debt. A lot of people call it sleep debt. It's not maybe not necessarily the official academic term, but it's exactly what it is. Okay, so how to avoid it is by having consistency, okay? And I will even tell you, yes, good, a lot of thumbs up, a lot of hearts. It's something we all experience. We experience it too, okay? I'm sure tonight I'm going to sleep a lot because I'm sick. I'm getting over something. I was literally sleeping the entire day yesterday. Fine, I'm sick, okay? I had a fever yesterday. I had to be in bed. Fine. I was ill. I wasn't feeling well. Same thing for your kids when they're not feeling well. But guess what? On the weekends, I sleep a lot, like I told you, but it's not healthy. It's not, okay? And I'm just gonna tell you that, right? And I'm gonna be honest here, right? Even though I'm the sleep expert, I don't always practice what I preach with my own needs, because I'm busy, I'm a mother, I'm working, I'm helping all of you. But really, it's ideal for all of our bodies, even as adults. I get a lot of phone calls with adults and sleep. So if you ever do have a sleep question as an adult, you can always email me and I'll happy to just give you some tips. Our bodies all thrive on predictable rhythms. The healthiest thing is for us to go to sleep around the same time every night and wake up around the same time every day, every single day, even if that means getting less sleep than is ideal, okay? This isn't for kids, this is for adults, just putting it out there, food for thought. I've done so much research and I'm a big nerd. I read sleep studies for fun. I find them absolutely invigoratingly interesting, and it helps me a lot in my work when I'm helping all of you. But it's better, let's say the average adult needs 8.5 hours of night sleep. Okay, all of you are like, 8.5 hours, oh my gosh, I wish I got 4, right? Okay, fine. But assuming you weren't sleep deprived, you didn't have kids keeping you up, the average adult needs 8 to 8.5 hours of night sleep. It is better to get, let's say, 7 hours of night sleep, which is less than, let's say, your body might need consistently, than to have 9 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 4 hours, okay? So it's the same thing with our children. I've talked about this a lot in multiple videos. If you watch the video on daycare providers and babysitters, all those things, it's better to have a not ideal routine that is consistent then sometimes hitting the ideal, which means you're going to have a super low, okay? You want to find a happy, healthy median, okay? So I'm going to talk to you, just go through some of the questions here about sleep debt. Probably I covered a lot of it, but let's just see it. If you have a question watching live, hit me up in the comments. Excuse me, I have to just wipe my nose. It's been super fun. I've been doing videos today, working with the Rested Moms Club, and I'm like, hang on guys, I need some water. But at least you can hear me now. Okay, Linda, my dear, okay. In general, how long does it take to get out of sleep debt? Good question. I can always count on you to answer awesome questions, Linda. Is there a difference between daytime sleep debt and nighttime sleep debt? For example, if baby doesn't get enough sleep overnight, will that affect his naps the next day? Or does it snowball over time since sleep begets sleep? We're very nervous with the holidays coming up, accumulating a lot of sleep debt over consecutive days. So, every child is different, right? Some kids can accumulate sleep debt during the day and not have it affect their nights. Some kids can be thrown off for their night sleep, and only if some kids go like day to day, skipping over the nights. Some kids go night to night, skipping over the days. You know what I mean? So it depends, but usually 99.999% of babies for sure, but kids under 3, sleep debt is cumulative. Okay, it's not usually this nap affects that, bedtime affects this, because then first of all, you're going to go crazy trying to like diagnose a situation. But more than that, it's more of like a complete overall picture and a cumulative effect. So if it's been 3-4 days of bad napping, sleep debt might occur. If it's been 3-4 nights of bad sleeping, sleep debt might occur. And the way you combat this, and Linda, I know you well, we're working on naps, we're getting things in an awesome place, is to have that consistency, even if it's not ideal. So even if it means naps being shortened because of family and the holidays and things happening, fine, at least you're offering naps at the same time. Fine, bedtime might be 20-30 minutes earlier, but you try to work your way around it because you want to avoid sleep debt by offering that consistency. With the holidays coming up, this is a major issue people are nervous about. You're going to be traveling, you have family, you can't put your baby to sleep. Everyone just came to visit your baby, and who cares that it's nap time? Why do you have to be such a mother who's such a stickler, right? We all have those people around us who love us and love our children so much, and they want to just spend time with them. Like, why do you always have to put them to sleep? Obviously, it's a decision you have to make. Is it more important for you to put your child to sleep now, or is it more important for this person who hasn't seen your baby in 3 months to bond with them? Right? It's always a constant battle of figuring out what the right decision is. But at the end of the day, one time is not going to mess up anything. 1 bad day of napping, 2 bad days of napping, a few bad nights. I don't want you all to get nervous coming away from this video thinking, oh my gosh, sleep debt is inevitable, must avoid at all possible costs. Like, not anything in moderation is fine, but your goal is to kind of roll with the punches, but be aware of the baseline you're continuing to try to get back to and not go too far away with it. When we work in my Rested Moms Club, we have something called the sleep line, which basically means that line, and I've talked about this in the regressions video, that life is life, right? It's daylight savings time, it's the holidays, your child gets shots, they learn how to climb out of their crib and can't get back in, you have another baby, you move. Like, it's always going a little to the right or a little to the left, or right, left, I don't know which way you're seeing this, but the goal is that you don't veer too far away from that line and you can pull your child back. So a few days of bad napping, a few nights of bad sleeping, you don't have to be worried the sleep debt's accumulating, but you want to make sure you can avoid it. So it's a balance of kind of rolling with the punches and living. If you're on vacation, you got to do it. If you're traveling for the holidays, you got to let go, but trying to maintain as much sanity and normalcy as possible. Okay, let's see what Kendra asked. I'm going to look on my computer. My 9-month-old definitely has this, but it has it from lack of sleep during the day. Then she'll sleep 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 a.m. Yes, this is sleep debt, my dear. Then barely nap the next day, and the cycle continues. Now has been waking up at 5 a.m., eat, and then sleep till 7:45, going to bed at 6:30. Should I wake her up every morning at 7 to keep a steady schedule? So in your case, Kendra, you have to go backwards. We're not talking about preventing sleep debt. We're talking about sleep debt already happening that you want to undo. The way to do that is by consistently waking up your child at a certain time every day and taking the reins to get a good routine in. Figure out your child's ideal sleep window. If you've watched our other videos on routines, I'm a big fan of logging, finding certain patterns and habits. But yes, if you continue to let this go, then you're going to keep having this yo-yo effect. And I'm sure, I don't know if you have a boy or a girl, her, I'm sure she's overtired during the day because, excuse me, I'm sure she's overtired during the day because she's sleeping so much at night and then is up for such a long chunk of time that her body's constantly in this overtired, getting enough sleep flow. She's never fully reaching full restedness and she's never fully overtired either. She's kind of stuck in the middle. So ask around in this group. We're going to start posting some new schedules soon and everything in terms of sample routines and what you should go by. But a baby her age has about 2 to 3 hours of awake time. So if you start waking her up every day around the same time, get consistent naps and gear to battle. Exactly. You got it. Let us know how it goes. Okay. Some other questions here. Andrea, how do you get a 6-month-old back to sleep at night that wakes up and wants to stay awake? This can sometimes be, this is interesting. I'm going to finish your question. No matter how much or how little napping during the day, how do you get them to transition to an earlier bedtime? Okay, so this is a little bit of a different question, but you're welcome, Kendra. So my pleasure to help you. Okay, this is a little bit of a different question, Amanda's question, but sleep debt sometimes will just cause overtiredness, which is basically what we've said in the past. When your child is overtired, Andrea, when your child is overtired from a lack of consistent daytime sleep or overtired from sleep debt, doesn't matter what the overtiredness is stemming from, it's overtiredness. Overtired means inconsistent rhythms, and that's what sleep debt is. So if your child's overtired at night wake ups for a long time fighting sleep is a normal reaction. The same time when we have jet lag, right? You might wake up in the middle of the night and no matter how tired you are, you can't fall back asleep because your internal rhythms are so out of whack. So in order to combat this with your 6-month-old, get a good routine set up. Figure out how many naps your child needs. Get it consistent and predictable. Because whether it's sleep debt or overtiredness, it's almost irrelevant. Your child is fighting sleep in the middle of the night due to the fact that things are out of whack. Okay? This is a comfort question. Any of you who I don't answer your question in here, just use #SleepQ and we'll try to come in during the daily Q's and coffee. I'm just trying to hit up the ones about sleep debt. What is sleep debt? Is it real? Can it make up for lost sleep? Aubrey wants to know. So it can. It really can, but it's not healthy, right? Just like coffee and I drink it, totally wakes me up. Does that mean it's healthy? Okay, fine. That's contradictory. Some people say it's amazing for you. It's so good for you. Some people say it's the worst thing in the world. I'm not getting into a whole coffee debate here. I love my coffee. But there are things that we do like energy drinks and things like that we take that do the trick. That doesn't mean it's good for us. Okay? So Aubrey, yeah, it's real. Not ideal though. Like I said, we want to try to avoid it. You came at the right time for your issue, Kristen. Okay, cool. So you'll let me know what your question is. We're talking about sleep debt. Let's see. Catherine. This is attachment sleeping for the sake of her schedule. Okay, these are all awesome questions, but I just want to stay in the frame of sleep debt. So if I don't answer you, #SleepQ it up and we'll come on in and answer you. Okay, so Shoshana wants to know about adult sleep debt. If you're expecting and know you'll be losing a lot of sleep, which the birth is there truly a benefit of getting an hour more a night before? Oh, okay. So you're basically asking if you know you're not going to get sleep, can you use preventative measure for sleep debt? For adults, for kids, this is a pretty universal question. Or how long does sleep debt last? A few days, a few weeks? This is a good question. Is there any real research to support the idea of sleep debt and sleep account, or is it just a nice idea? I love it. Awesome question. So it is real. I read sleep studies all the time. If you want, Shoshana, you can actually PM me and I'll send you a few studies and research that have been done at the National Sleep Academy and all these different places because it's mind-boggling. But sleep debt is real. It is real. Doctors, researchers, they all like to talk about why our circadian rhythms do this and physiologically why our bodies fight it and all these different things. Fine. At the end of the day, though, you can't really prevent sleep debt. It's more like how to fix it once it happens. If I know I'm going to be traveling next week and I'm going to be up for 3 nights straight because of all the planes and this, I can try to get myself revved up and rested and sleep a lot now and eat healthy and exercise so my body's in the prime. But at the end of the day, sleep debt's going to happen, so you just try to do your best to bounce back as quickly as possible. I think that's the question you're asking. But if you want to see real studies, I'm not going to bore everyone here in the group because not everyone is as much of a research nerd as I am. You can PM me and I'll send you some articles to read. It's really interesting. Okay, again, Megan's question, this is a different question, not specifically on sleep debt. Let's see what Kristen wants to know. My 6-month-old has started waking up at 2:30 to 3 and wants to be up. Still a normal reaction to getting that daytime schedule down? It very much could be. And again, we're talking about sleep debt here, but sleep debt really just means inconsistency at the end of the day. We can term it whatever we want, but if your child's waking up a lot at night, it could be the routine you're doing isn't ideal, and it could be your child is just having a little bit of response time. So I'm going to he's fighting sleep at every turn. So that I don't know how long you've been doing this for. How long have you been enlisting, Kristen, this routine? How long have you been trying it for? A week? A few days? let me know. If I don't see your response by the time I head out here, put it in the comments below, because it's possible the routine you're doing 2 weeks. Okay, so if 2 weeks of doing a routine, he's still fighting you, that's a sign to me that the routine you're doing is not, yeah, I knew what you meant, don't worry. Works, weeks, autocorrect. I one time wrote a really funny email to someone, it completely autocorrected it. It was really weird. Anyway, I knew what you meant. But in any case, 2 weeks of not doing well on a current routine shows me that something is very off. So post it below when I head out, and tell me why you created it in such a way and what patterns you've seen. Give me a lot of details and I'll check it out below. And that is that. So that's about sleep debt, okay? Anyone whose question I didn't ask, please use hashtag SleepQ, because on these Monday topic threads, I really want to just delve specifically into that topic. Hashtag SleepQ is for everything else. This week's thread, remember I just did last week's. This week's thread is bedwetting, I believe, which is a really fun topic. I just got my 3-year-old totally dry at night, so I'm in the spurts of it now, but there's a lot you can do. You don't have to succumb to letting your child wet their beds every night, or if you're potty training how to do it, that's what we're going to talk about. We do have a lot of slots available to chat now because I have a few more people on my team now helping me. If you want to learn about working intimately with me in my Rested Moms Club, we have actually a lot of people in this free group who are in Rested Moms Club, so they can tell everyone how awesome it is. But if any of you are interested in hearing more about it, you want to learn more about the program, you want to actually work intimately with me and reach your sleep goals once and for all, it works really, really amazingly. So I will put the link below here, and you can set up a one-on-one call with me or someone on my team, and we'll walk you through the whole process start to finish, what Rested Moms Club is, how it works, because I would love to help you. I would love to be able to help you be rested, be thriving, get the sleep you need so that you don't have to suffer from sleep debt, your child doesn't have to suffer from sleep debt, and you can all get the rest you need, okay? So definitely click that link to set up a call. And those of you who I didn't answer your questions here, use hashtag SleepQ, and anyone else who has a question below, just hit me up. But set up a time to chat with us. We'd love to help you and just see if my program is a good fit for you and your family, okay? Have an amazing day, and drink a lot of water so you don't get sick like I did. Take care.